What's going on, you beautiful people? It's Pally Games. We're back with a video. Oh my god, it's amazing. So, Secret Lair came out today. You can't pre-order them yet, but I figured we'd go over some of the cards because I really like Secret Lairs. I have bought a whole bunch of them, um, which, I will show at some point. But a lot of these cards are pretty good. What is this called? This is the Kamigawa the manga cards. They did do like an anime-ish trailer for the reveal for Kamigawa, which looks pretty sweet. So you should check it out. But we've got a Swords of Plowshares, pretty good removal spell in Commander. Exile target creature, its controller gains life equal its power. You don't care if you give them life. I don't give a fuck if I give you life. I want that thing dead. Next card, we got Idyllic Tutor. Now, I like this card. It has been a little pricey. Okay, it's like $7.98. That's not too bad. It used to be pretty expensive, and I think it got a reprint because that was from Theros. Okay, then Morningtide. I forgot Morningtide. And then, yeah. So I do like that they gave us that. Search a library for an enchantment card, reveal it, and put it into your hand. Next on the list, we've got Solve the Equation. This came, I believe this was their only card that, a tutor card that came out. I think it was only printed in Strixhaven, but it was a solid card, because not everybody can afford a Mystic Tutor. So this does let you do what Mystic Tutor does, but I think Mystic Tutor's instant. I might be wrong on that. I'd have to be looking at it to tell you. I can't remember every single card ever. But this lets you search a library for instant sorcerer cards. In Commander, 100 card singleton format, you definitely want to get in there and grab your Cyclonic Rift or your board wipe to destroy everything, or your combo spell for your combo. Now we got Praetor's Grasp. I've always liked this card. I'm actually building a deck right now, going over that lets me search my opponent's libraries and remove their combo pieces. So definitely a good card to have. So you can do that, and I just like it. You can play it, but you're not gonna play it unless it's like really good. And then next we got Veil of Summer. Now this card I think it got banned in, not in Commander, but I think it got banned in Modern. I do not know. I'll probably put something up on the screen to clarify if it did or not. But I actually like this card. It's a really cool card. You get to draw a card if an opponent casts a blue or black spell, so automatically on the control player or the tempo player or blue-black control, you're already getting to draw a card if they play that, if they've played a spell that turn. And then spells you control can't be countered this turn. So you play this first, and if they don't have a counter spell, you're usually safe. But sometimes in a 4-player format like Commander is, somebody might not even waste their counter spell on this. It really depends. But you're only going to drop this if you want to make sure you have something spicy to play. But if they counter it, then you still run the risk of getting countered. Permanence to control, and you gain hexproof, which means you can't be targeted by spells or abilities your opponents control. So if your creatures have hexproof, they can't destroy anything, and if you have hexproof, they can't target you, like target player discards a card, something like that. But it's only from blue and black, so you still can get hit by red and white and green. That's usually not that bad. I mean, there's Beast Within and the fight spells that make your big green stompy monsters fight. But yeah, I mean, I like how all these look. I'll probably definitely pick this layer up. Next we have the, I think it was called the, what is it? Pictures of the Floating World. Now these are all the Hideaway Lands, if I remember that correctly. Let me double check the list here. Let's see, we got Windbrisk Heights, Shelldock Isle, Hollowtooth, Spine Rock, and Mosswood Bridge. Yeah, so basically all these are just all arts of cards. And the cards themselves, other than I think the blue one, are like have a bit of a price tag. The rest of them are like 50 cents or like less than $1. I mean, I love the art on them. They absolutely look fucking beautiful, but I don't think I'm gonna spend $30 to pick these up. I love it when they do lands like this, but it's just not worth it. Like at that point, you're just paying for the artwork. Like I want my layers to have like some good reprints that are needed, but at the same time look really awesome. Like I can't wait, because I think we're gonna do an unboxing when I get my October super drop, whenever that is. Send an email to the Wizards and they're like, oh, it's gonna be a couple weeks. And then the next, like an hour later, they send me like an email saying that I have a shipping label, but it has not moved in like 2 weeks. So I'm probably not gonna see those cards for a while. But anyway, these look stunning. I love them, but I'm not gonna buy them. Okay, next up we have the Shades Not Included Secret Lair. I fucking love these cards. I love how they look. I guess that from what I understand, is Ben Schnuck, the artist for these, he does like altars and stuff, so it was pretty cool of Wizards to reach out and have him do some art. But I love how these look. Like, look at that. The island looks fantastic. It's got that nice, you know, like fucking cyber synthwave looking flair to it. I would definitely buy these. The only problem I have is that you're only gonna get one of each for $30. And I have a like weird deck building OCD, like I know a lot of people do, is that unless I have to, I will never use different lands in my deck or different non-basics. Like they usually all have to match or be within the same theme, and that's just one of my flaws as a deck builder. Is like I want those to match the art, or at least, you know, within the same set. So I'm really looking forward to the Kamigawa Neon Dynasty lands. The art looks fantastic on them, but I love these so much. But the problem with the land layers is I cannot abandon my principles on these. Is that they offer you one of each of these for $30. I can't do it. Like I don't like. Sometimes, depending, I have fuck you money, but I'd rather waste that money on, you know, either buying cards for a specific deck or, you know, other Secret Lairs. I'm not gonna spend $30 on 5 basic lands. Yeah, they look incredible, but I can't. I'm not doing it. I can't abandon my principles no matter how much I really, really like these lands. Okay, for these next ones, I hope I'm not butchering their name, but it's a special guest, Yuku Shimizu. Now, they have had some other ones like special guests, like Fiona Staples, I think is what her name was, who did some incredible art on those Secret Lairs. They've also had the Dan Frazier is back, Arcane, with the Arcane Signet and the Guild Signets, which look incredible. They have that nice, like, feel and look of the older Moxes, and I really love those arts. So I love when they do these arts. So we've got Hikori, Dust Drinker, lands on tap during their controller's tap steps at the beginning of each player's upkeep. That player untaps the land they control. This is basically Winter Orb on a body. So, but at least this one's a little bit more fair. Winter Orb, most people run it in like a stacks deck, or they tax the shit out of you, or they'll put it in like an Urza deck so they can tap it, because the clause for Winter Orb is if it's tapped, you can untap all the lands. So what you do is you have it untapped during your opponent's turns, and then you tap it at the end of your opponent's turn. It will untap at your upkeep or your untap step, and all your other lands will untap. So it's really impressive. So this one is a little bit more fair, just because it's on a body and it can be destroyed. Still don't know if I would actually play it in a deck, but I like how it looks. And then the next one we got Kira, the Great Glass Spinner. I love this card. It's pretty good. You know, flying creatures you control have, whenever this creature becomes the target of a spell or ability for the first time each turn, counter that spell or ability. This is really good protection for your creature decks. The only like, most people are gonna prioritize the Great Glass Spinner before they try to touch any other creatures, unless they have a sweeper on the board, like a board wipe, or, you know, -X counters, because the clause is they have to be targeting it. But still, it's pretty good. Like, it'll protect your commander, it'll protect like that big stompy creature guy, it'll protect one of your pieces. Like, they're gonna have to waste 2 spells just to get this off the table before they can mess with the other stuff. And I like the art. Okay, Eidolon of the Great Revel. I think this was a Theros card. But whenever I'm not sure, I'd have to look it up. I'll post it on the screen though. Whenever a player casts a spell with mana value 3 or less, Eidolon of the Great Rebel deals 2 damage to that player. I would actually like to pick this up. I have a Torbrand and Goblin deck. Normally a lot of people like to do Spell Slinger, like kind of like this weird stacks of pieces like with mana barbs and stuff. I decided to make mine an aggro deck. It still has some of those pieces in it. But it's mostly Goblin Tribal, but I would still probably pick this up for that deck. Just because Torbrand makes, does 2 additional damage whenever red source you control deal damage to a creature or player. It does that much damage plus 2. So I'd say this is a pretty good card for those kinds of decks. Or if you're just running like Ryu Thar too. Ryu Thar will fuck somebody up. Okay, Elvish Spirit Guide. So I didn't even know this card existed until I saw this layer. Like I heard of Simian Spirit Guide because it got banned in Modern because it was too good. It was a fucking combo enabler because you exile from your hand, you get a mana. So I'm surprised this also didn't get the same treatment. I might be wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure it's not banned. But I do like that. In green, I'd definitely throw this into my Hydra deck. Just for a little bit extra ramp, like if I'm missing 1 mana or something, because I run a Gargos deck, but I run a Gargos deck with, like, just the goal of it is to throw it on Hydras. Typically, Gargos, you would, like, play spells, so he'd fight and target removal people's creatures, and I kind of use that as a punishment rather than it affecting me. But I like this card. You exile from your hand, you get a green mana. So you don't even have to cast this, and then add 3 mana, and you're not getting a good card draw, and you have it in your hand, and you're like, fuck, I don't have anything good to play. I need something to block. I like this. Apparently a lot of people are losing their shit too because I guess it's never been printed in foil. So like you have the option to grab like a lot of the Secret Lairs. They only very few of them, like the Mischief one I picked up, came only in foil. But you have the option to get it in foil. So I guess a lot of people are excited about that. Yeah, so I kind of like these. This is one I'll probably definitely pick up, mostly for the Great Glass Spinner, but I don't see any issues with the other 2 cards. Hokori will probably just sit in my binder and look cool unless I could think of a deck to slot it into. It would most likely be a blue-white control, though. Alright, next one we have is it's called Introducing Kaito Shizuki. Now, I like all these cards. I like the anime art style. I mean, I guess, I don't know what drove them to do that, but I mean it's cool. I fucking dig it. But they got Brain Freeze, target player mills 3 cards, Storm. Yo, if I knew this card existed, I would have definitely picked this up in my Bruvac deck, General Mills, before I disassembled it. I might bring that deck back. I really liked playing that deck because that deck was literally just try to mill your opponent's 99 card deck and see if you can get away with it, and it was so fun. The problem was that there was a lot of cards at the time when I built it I didn't know about, so it was kind of janky. But I might just have to bring it back for this, with this card plus like do a Persistent Petitioners deck, which I'll put on the screen. I love that card. I guess you tap 4 of them and you get to mill your deck, and your deck can have any number of them because Commander's usually singleton. So any decks that do that, I kind of like the Rats or the fucking Cleric. I can't think of his name. Shadowborn Apostle, that's what it was. So I like this. Snap, I'm going to turn target creature to its owner's hand. I used to run this on a lot of my budget decks, like back in the day, before, the format got as strong as it is now. I used to have this. I used to run this with like fucking Boomerang and, Unsummon, a bunch of other cards. Nothing's more annoying to somebody than them spending like 5, 6 mana on a creature, or even 4, than having it put back into their hand, because they've already spent the resources to cast it. Now they have to do it again. So I like it. I like the art on it too. So we got Bribery. This is like a $35 card when I looked at the price. Basically, it's a really good card. It used to be worth a lot more, but I don't know why. I don't know if it dropped recently because this layer was leaked or what. Or if it's been like that and I've just always out of my mind. There's another card that's called like Acquisition or Acquire. You get to search your opponent's deck for target opponent's library for an artifact card. So this card lets you search their deck for a creature card. So that's really good because one thing I love doing is stealing people's stuff. I used to run a Mariki deck that the whole deck was just like, yeah, I like that card. I called it Little Debos because it was just too funny. It's Mariki, she's this small lady that taps down and you steal somebody's stuff and you have to run a lot of untap combos. But yeah, just steal people's stuff. I love this card. I will definitely. This card right here justifies me buying the Secret Lair because I think it's $30. This thing's 35. It'll pay for the Secret Lair if I ever like wanted to sell it, or the price will probably go down once they release. But I mean, it's still pretty good. Next we got Unmask. Love that artwork on it. You may exile a black card from your hand rather than pay the spell's mana cost. Target player reveals their hand. You choose a non-land card from it. That player discards the card. So if you, I guess, so you can free cast this. I mean, in EDH, I don't, other than Turgid, I don't see, or maybe I haven't experienced any decks. Sometimes somebody will run like Thoughtseize or Distress or something, where they are, you know, you show your hand, they make you discard a card out of it. So I don't know if that would be, I don't know about this card. I don't really see those too many cards being played. I still like the way it looks though, but it'll probably most likely sit in my binder unless I'm running, I might throw it in my combo breaker deck just so I can make sure those filthy combo pieces stay out of their hands. Or if I know they draw something, I'm going to try to get rid of it. We got Shadow of Doubt. I love this card. Hybrid mana, 2/2. 2-drop hybrid mana, so you can pay either blue or black. So you can either double blue, double black, or one of each color. And players can't search the libraries to draw a card. I love that it's instant. It's really good, especially in Commander. Like in the higher power tiers, people are always going to want to play Demonic Tutor, Wishclaw Talisman. They're going to want to search the libraries for their best card, because you're never going to search a library for your worst card. It's usually going to be your combo piece or something. So that's why Opposition Agent, which is a pretty popular card, you know, that's why it was so fucking game changing when it came out, because it's like, I'm gonna crack my fetch land to get a land. Nope, no bitch, no searching. So you just lost your land. Or, you know, I'm gonna go get the best card out of my deck. Nah, son. Denied. So I like this. I'll definitely slot this in. I'm actually thinking about doing Satoru Umezawa, because he gives all your stuff ninjutsu, so you know, run, you know, unblockable things. But I think I'm gonna do something different with that deck. Kraken, sea monster tribal, like we're talking like octopuses, serpents, krakens. I think that would be a lot more fun. A lot of people just been talking about like, I'm gonna throw down a blight steel, or I'm gonna get like a mind leech or whatever the hell. Like I think it'd be more fun to throw down a consuming aberration, or that's probably on their minds too. But I think I'm gonna do sea monster tribal. I think that just sounds more fun, because sea monsters, they do really big swingy stuff or splashy effects, but you know, they cost so much mana, they're very hard to get out. But all in all, I like this one. I'm definitely gonna pick it up, mostly for that bribery right there. Alright, next we have up is the little walkers. I fucking love these cards. They've got that little chibi style art, which I don't like all the time, but I really like how they look here. Johnny is automatically my favorite. I've been playing since, you know, Shards of Alaris, when I started playing Magic, really. A big kitty cat warrior, uses soul magic. And so I have like every single Johnny card that's been printed, other than the SGC Comic-Con promos, because they're a little rich for my blood. I'd rather buy like a very high price utility card before I would go out of my way to get those. But I have every other normal printing of a Johnny, and I fucking love this one. So he's pretty good. Well, actually, hold on. Sorry, let's go back. So, you know, distribute 3+1/+1 counters among 1, 2, or 3 target creatures you control. So you can give 3 creatures a 1/1 counter. You can give 1 creature a 1 counter, and then 2, or you can just give one thing 3. And then you look at the top 4 cards of your library. You may reveal an aura card or planeswalker card from among them, put it in your hand. This is really good for Super Friends. That is on the list of decks I want to build, which is Atraxa. But I want to do Atraxa Super Friends. I guess that's like the most basic way to play Atraxa now. But it's still like super fun, because, you know, shoot proliferates, which then gives you an extra counter. So you just run a bunch of proliferate effects, and you know, use the planeswalkers, get a bunch of emblems. The alt is kind of lackluster for this planeswalker, for this version of Johnny, because all it is gives you 100 life, which might matter. In a combat, you know, deck where everyone's playing combat-y, swingy stuff, but like in a I guess a combo deck, that alt does nothing. But I do like the fact that, you know, if you insert, you know, the top 4, and grab an aura, creature, or planeswalker and put it in your hand. So that's not too bad. I still love this art. And then next up we got Sauron, Grim Nemesis. I'm kind of disappointed that they did not choose to reprint like OG Sauron. I'll put him up on the screen, but like OG Sauron is literally like, hey, I'm gonna cast him. If he doesn't get countered, he hits the field and go, hey, you know, you're at 40 life. Nah, you're at 10 life now. Like, I love that Sauron so much, so I'm kind of sad that they didn't decide to just give us a reprint of that. But I think overall, I think most people want us to forget that that card exists, because it's just like, so like, why? I think they considered banning it a long time ago, because it was just like, hey, you know, you have 10 life now. I did that to somebody the first time I built Robin's Crick deck. Was I put it in there, and I put it in a tournament. I'm just smashing everybody at the table with Crick. And I look over this elf deck guy. I'm like, how much life do you have? He goes, oh, I haven't been touched. I said, oh, really? Hold on. Cast Soren. You're at 10 life? The look on his face, priceless. But yeah, so we got reveal the top card of your library. Put that card into your hand. Each opponent loses life equal to its mana value. Okay, that's not too bad. It's like let's see, yeah, I guess it's like a Dark Confidant effect, which is still a pretty decent card. So are you minus X? So you minus X, so these are all counters. It comes in with this many counters. Every time you use +1, you get an extra counter. When you minus something, you lose counters. And when they hit 0, they die. But your opponent has the chance to either target them with a spell or damage or attack them to get them off the board, and you have to choose your creatures to block with them. But so he deals X damage to target creature. Planeswalker, you gain X life. Still a solid effect. But I mean, I wouldn't really play this because it's 6 mana. I would play it in a casual, and that's probably about it. Like low mid power, low power casual. And then his -9, create a number of 1/1 black vampire knight creature tokens with a life link equal to the highest life total among all players. Which I guess that's not bad either, but it's a major feel bad. You waste all your counters, kill your Sauron, and then somebody wipes the board because you can't attack with them. But I like how it looks. I still like the look of it. Next up, we got Tammy on the Moon Sage. I remember when she came out. She was such a good card in Standard. Normally, if this got played, you were done. You were done. Tempo control decks, they had your number. This hit the field, you were struggling. But I like how this looks. I like how it has the Emrakul reference there with the moon. So tap target permanent. It doesn't untap during its controller's next to the tap step. For its +1, it's -2. Draw a card for each tapped creature target player's controls. I love this. That combos really well. There's a lot of cards like there's sleep. So you know, they swing out at you, you know, fucking activated draw a card. There's a lot of cards you can do this with. What was the Gridlock? Goes really well with Gridlock if you have the mana to spend on it. Tap everyone's creatures down, active -2, draw a bunch of cards. But the -8, you get an emblem with, you have no maximum hand size, and whenever a card is put into your graveyard from anywhere, you may return it to your hand. So basically, anywhere. You discard, you mill off the top of your deck, you self-mill yourself. If you get that emblem there, whenever a card goes to your graveyard, it goes to your hand instead. And that's so good. I love it. I like the way this looks. I love the little Emrakul reference in the back. We got Ashiok, Dream Render. I like this card too. I think it's an uncommon. Is it uncommon? I know it's a... They give you the glass stained one for Secret Lairs is sometimes in there. But this one, I'm not sure if this one was uncommon. Maybe I'm thinking of like another Ashiok. But anyway, this one, spells and abilities your opponent's control can't cause their controller to search their libraries. So basically, it just shuts down tutors. They can't, you know, play their demonic tutor. They can't play their, I'm trying to think of the green tutor, but demonic, all the black ones, because you know you search it and you only have to tell us what it is, tell you what it is. The other ones, you know, they have to reveal it. So it's nice. Target player mills 4 cards, exile each opponent's graveyard. So good for black-blue mill decks, but you're mostly playing it for that ability because it doesn't have a plus. Next we got Ingrath, Flame Chained. A lot of people like this card. I mean, I'm okay on it, but apparently it's pretty popular. But I do like the art. It's basically got him at the helm of the ship. I think that's his original art does the same thing, where he's just at the helm of a ship. But each opponent discards a card and loses 2 life. So okay, never mind. I see. I see. They have to discard something. Gain control of target creature till the next turn. Untap it, gains haste, and then you sacrifice at the beginning of the next end step. So I'm gonna steal your creature and make it. It has to be 3 or less though. So I'm gonna steal your creature, make it swing on you, or I'm gonna take it and sacrifice it to another effect. So that's not too bad. That mana value thing is kind of limiting though. Each opponent loses life equal to the number of cards in their graveyard. I like this. I would definitely throw this in my Grist deck just for this effect, but it's not in the right colors, so I can't. But I do like that. I don't see like, I guess Angie Falconwrath likes this deck, but oh, in their graveyard. So you're still, I guess you're running like what, Grixis? You're running like black, red, blue, like listen, mill, control mill. I don't know. I mean, it seems like it's okay. I don't think I would personally play this. Maybe in like a Traxa or something like Super Friends. So yeah, that's the little walkers, and I think we're getting to the main one I actually like wanted to talk about. I mean, I like all these. I'm probably gonna pick up some of them, but I'm probably gonna not pick up the land ones. But yeah, let's move on to the next one. Okay, here it is. Here's the one I was looking forward to the most. Like, all these cards are just mwah. They're beautiful. So these are the Street Fighter X ones. You know, Magic's doing this like weird Universes Beyond thing. So they've got the stuff like Stranger Things. They have the Walking Dead cards, where they just use characters from different IPs to build Magic cards around. They won't be like printing like normal Magic creatures based on these cards at some point, I think, is, if I understand that correctly, because people got really salty over the Walking Dead ones because they were mechanically unique and they didn't have any plans to give us like alternate versions of them. I don't know if they're still going to do that. I think they added them to like the list or something so you can get them out of a pack. But anyway, we got Honda, or E-Honda Sumo Champion, legendary creature, human warrior, beating the shit out of a car. Sumo Spirit, as long as it's your turn, each creature assigns combat damage equal to its toughness rather than its power. It's a high costed card, but this card really likes to go in Dorian, I think that's his name. He's a tree folk in those, in like black, white, green, that creatures assign combat damage equal to their toughness rather than their power. So he's a good card for the 99. He might be I don't think he's good if because he's white, mono white. I don't think he's good enough to be a mono white commander, to be honest with you. I do like the 100-handed slap whenever he attacks. Up to 100 target creatures each get plus 0 plus X until end of turn, where X is the number of cards in your hand. So, you know, kind of gives them like almost like a Crater Hoof-esque effect, but it's based on the number of cards in your hand, which is kind of ironic because mono white has some of the worst card draw ever. So I think that's kind of a fucked up thing for them to print this on a card, knowing that, because it's been a complaint forever. Yeah, they have been trying to make mono white better, but like when it comes to the card draw department, it's just kind of I do like the way it looks though, but he's definitely better in the 99 of commander decks. I don't think I would ever build a deck around him. Next up we got Ryu World Warrior. Fucking love it. Love the art on this card. Legendary creature, human warrior. He has training. Whenever he attacks with another creature with greater power, he gets a counter. And then he's got the Hadouken, or Hadouken? Is that? I don't fucking know. So it's 5. It's a red, and it's 4 and a red. And the untap symbol. So basically, you have to have him tapped for some reason. Which you can do that in a lot of decks. So his color identity is going to be Boros. So you can run some artifacts. I think there's some white cards that will untap too. But basically, you discard a card, he deals damage equal to his power to any target. If excess damage was dealt to a creature this way, draw a card. So basically, if you fucking body something with that ability, you get to draw a card, which is not bad because he gets rid of tokens. I like this card. I'd build something around this guy. You know, he's got training. You know, he plays some big, stompy red white creatures, and at least you can discard a card, but it still suffers from that thing that white suffers from much just draw. Red draw is okay, but it usually requires you to discard a card to draw like 2 or 3 cards. Or looting effects, where it's like draw a card, discard. But I kind of like it. I like it. I'd probably throw them in my my Brunor deck just for fun. You know, throw fucking equipment on him, give him like +10/+10. Use that fucking Hadoken if I had the mana for it. But I like the art. I like how this looks. And we got Ken, Burning Brawler. He's got Prowess, which Prowess, like Elsha the Infinite decks, would fucking love this card. But Prowess, whenever you cast a non-creature spell, this creature gets +1/+1 until end of turn. And then you can either tap a red or a white, and he gains first strike till end of turn. This is super good. Him 3-drop, 4/2. Fuck yeah, I'd run him as a commander. Running Prowess, fuck you. There's a lot of broken shit you could do in Prowess. Now, Elsha the Infinite would be a better Prowess deck if that's what you're going for, because you got blue, white, and red. So then you can just spam like fucking Sorcerer or fucking Sensei's Divining Top and cast it off the top of your library and then bring it back and cast it again. But I still like this card. Whenever he deals combat damage, you may cast a sorcery spell from your hand with mana value less than or equal to that damage on paying its mana cost. So I'd run this in Boros equipments for sure. He'd also be good in Brunor, because that first strike is just too good. Give him some first strike, and then if they're going to have to block if they don't want to take damage, then you just get to play a giant fucking white and red spells. I like him. I can see him being a pretty viable build. Blanca, ferocious fiend. He's got haste, so he can attack, you know, as soon as he hits the battlefield, because there's that summoning sickness thing, which a lot of you probably don't know what summoning sickness are, because I know a lot of you probably don't do magic stuff. He basically, you can attack right away. Summoning sickness is the thing when you play a creature, it has to wait a whole turn until your next turn before it can attack, unless it has haste. But he's a 5/5 beast warrior for 5 mana, you know, 3 colorless, red, green. Rolling attack. He has trample as long as he casts 3 or more spells this turn. Electric Thunder. Whenever he becomes the target of spell ability, he gets +2/+2 till end of turn, deals 2 damage to each opponent. I love this card. He's solid. You're definitely gonna run him in like a berserker build. You know, a lot of fucking damage doubling effects. Furnace of Wrath, Dictate Twin Gods. I think Insult and Injury. There's the one that doubles his power and toughness. I can't think of it right now. I think it's like Fury or something. Or Double Fury. I can't remember. It's a card. I have one. It's in my hand and pull out in the deck. He might get slotted in there, but basically, you're going to want to run on any double damage effect, because in like they'll take, instead of 2, they'll take 4. But on top of that, you cast a bunch of spells on him. And he's in green, so you give him some trample. You go in for the attack. You play a bunch of 1-drop spells, boost him up, and he could probably potentially on the right, if you on the right board state, he can one-shot somebody, at least one opponent. Because commander damage is like 21, so you only have to deal 21 damage. But if you can get somebody with this and play, there's a lot of cheap 1-drop spells that will give +2/+2 or +3/+3 for some 2-drops. If you have enough mana, especially on turn 4 or 5, you can swing, get him trample, swing with him, and then just dump all those spells onto him. Power him up. You'll get +3/+3 or like +2/+2. Plus he gets that effect, and then he gets trample if you cast 3 of those spells. So I think I like this. He's gonna be pretty. He's gonna be a very spiky deck to build around. Next up, we got Chun-Li, Countless Kicks. I don't know why they had the Countless Kicks part. They could have like done Chun-Li, Master of the Feet. I don't know. But she's Zorius colors, so we got 1 for blue-white. Multi-kicker, basically you could pay, when you cast it, you can pay the multi-kicker as many times as you have mana. And it will do an effect X times. So when she enters the battlefield, exile up to X target instant sorcery cards from your graveyard, where X is the number of times Chun-Li was kicked. Put a kick counter on each of them. Now I like that because her lightning kick says whenever she attacks, Copy each exiled card you own with a kick counter on it. You may cast a copy. So you still have to pay mana for that ability, but you can also run this in like a prowess deck. Should still be good in Elsha. As well with Ken. Because you get all those spells and you can just cast them, and you still need the mana to do that, but I think this is really cool. You could use her like a Voltron style. Go in, get a bunch of this cheap boost, swing with her, cast them all with the lightning kick effect, and wreck someone's day. So I like that. It should be a pretty interesting deck to build around. Now this was probably one of the ones I was most looking forward to. Dolphin, pliable pacifist. There's so much potential with this deck right here. You can build a nice little nice little like instant Voltron deck. And so we'll go over the cards. So he's a 2 generic green and white legendary creature human monk. He has reach. Basically he means he can block creatures with flying. And he's a 1/3, so he has teleport. He has hexproof unless he's attacking. Whenever a creature control with reach attacks, untap it, and it can't be blocked by creatures of greater power this combat. So basically, as long as he's not attacking, he has hexproof. Now, there's so it's one of those weird things where like you're gonna have to give him some protection because he's not gonna be able to keep himself alive if he's attacking. But it's really good because basically you get to attack and then untap him, so after your turn's over, he'll go back to having hexproof. But you're going to want to make sure you equip some stuff to give him maybe some indestructible and to keep him alive, and you want to basically not pump him up until before damage. So, you know, it's a 1/3. Only 1/1 creatures are going to be able to block him, and then once blocks are declared, before the damage step, you just pile on a bunch of instants, and there's a lot of them in those colors, the green-white colors, that just pump him. You can murder somebody really fast. Then there's this Fierce Punch. Whenever one or more creatures you control deal combat damage to a player, draw a card. So if you're running like a green-white, you're running a bunch of birds or any kind of trample, big stompy trample creatures, all they have to do is touch them, and you get to draw a card out of it. It'd be nicer if you had separate triggers, like a double strike would be good. It'd get you at least 2 cards for combat. That clause with whenever one or more creatures deal combat damage, you get to draw a card. If it was whenever a creature deals combat damage, you draw a card, that'd be 1,000 times better. I see why they didn't do that. But I like this deck. It's got a lot of potential for some shenanigans. Guile Sonic Soldier. I just like the arts on this card. Let me say, is that they all look so good. So Guile, he's a bit of an interesting one. He's in, I guess they call it Jeskai now. It used to be just called America, but he's one colorless, a blue, red, and white legendary creature, human soldier. He's a 4/4. Whenever he enters the battlefield or attacks, put a charge counter on him or remove 1 from him. When you remove a counter this way, you choose 1, and so he can deal 4 damage to any target. I like that. And Flash Kick, he gains lifelink and indestructible. That's pretty good. Also would just be good in Elsha. That's because you charge up his counters, or even a little bit of proliferate. Give him some counters, so you can just consistently remove 1 every combat. Deal 4 damage to somebody. That's quite a bit of damage. And give him lifelink and indestructible. Keeps you alive. Makes him hard to kill. Especially if you're attacking them and they choose to block with a big creature or something. But I like how this looks. Zangief, the Red Cyclone. It's a very interesting card. Basically, he must be blocked if able. So he's not. So a lot of those times they'll do the must attack each turn. I like that they didn't do that with him because that'd be kind of boring. But yeah, he must be blocked, so they have to block with anything, even like a 1/1, which this does not encourage you to do. So Iron Muscle, as long as your turn, he is indestructible. So on your turn, unless they play a card that exiles him, he cannot be killed, unless it's with -1 counters. Spinning pile driver. When he deals combat damage, or when he deals damage to a creature, if that damage. So it's not even combat damage. Okay, so whenever he deals damage to a creature, if that creature was dealt excess damage this turn, that creature's controller sacrifices a non-creature, non-land permanent. So that's real interesting. So if you run a bunch of fight effects in this deck and pump them up or make them fight people's creatures, like you make him fight a 1/1, he damages the 1/1, kills it, and then that's excess damage right there. So excess damage, I'm gonna assume, is more damage than its toughness. And if they do that, not only do they lose that creature, but they have to sacrifice a non-creature, non-land permanent. So that's basically an artifact, an enchantment. I like that. That's kind of interesting. I like he's fighting the bear too. It's just like fucking got him in a fucking headlock. Yeah, I really like these cards. They all look super good. So anyway, that was pretty much the end of the video. I hope you guys did enjoy it. Going over some of these cards, I will be probably picking up most of these, and then we'll definitely do an unboxing when I get them. Whatever that's going to be, they are running behind on their Secret Lair schedule, so like I'm gonna have to wait until fucking April apparently to get my Stranger Things one, which is weird because like the ones I bought after I bought that one I got already, so that's just weird to me, but sure. I think they're still doing the there's a commander deck that they did with some special like alternate arts on it that I picked up, so we'll show that off. And then some of the League of Legends ones, which are pretty sweet. So I hope you guys did enjoy it. Last thing I want to talk about is today, starting at 2 o'clock, and going to like I think 2 o'clock to like 8 p.m. or a little bit after that, the channel Children of Alara, which I'll bring up on the screen right now. Link to their channel will be in the description. They are doing a charity stream for Trans Lifeline, which I thought was pretty cool. And I just like to play games with people, so they're like, hey, who wants to play Commander? And I was like, I'll play. So I'll be playing on Saturday at 2 o'clock. And basically, I guess we're going to be doing a couple rounds. And then also, they'll do extra games at 8 if people are still, ready to go. And I'll be playing on those too. Trans Lifeline, it's a phone resource that trans people can call and get help. So I thought that was pretty cool. Anyway, I actually even offered up one of my special artist proofs. So I didn't have a whole lot, but apparently a lot of people like seeing this card when I posted it. So I'll put that on the screen. But I offered that up as giveaway support or whatever. I don't know how they're doing it. I wouldn't expect to be playing for prizes. I just want to play for fun. So if they're giving it, but it looks like they're giving it away to people who like donate and stuff. Once they hit a certain threshold, they're gonna be, raffling these items off. So I thought that was kind of cool. Support a good cause. And so please feel free to check it out today, or come on a Friday at 2 o'clock when I'll be there playing, and then I'll probably still be there at 8. But I'll probably be hanging out in the chat and everything too. But yeah, just come by and show your support, and I would appreciate that. Trying to get back into this rhythm of doing videos and doing more content, and sometimes I just don't want to play like video games. I'm a big Magic the Gathering player. I love playing the game. I like playing it with different people, interesting people. So I hope you guys did enjoy the video, and I will see you on Saturday if you join the stream. If not, I'll be doing some videos. Probably gonna doing a Kamigawa set booster box opening for the channel. Probably sometime on the weekend. I can't make any guarantees. And we'll also take a look at the commander decks that I will be getting whenever I get them from Amazon. So I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.